2, 1, yo. Back. Back. Yo.
Right.
Hello, hello. What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Biohack Your Best Life. My name is Elisabeth.
And I'm Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Don't forget the four.
Foe. I say forbidden. Forbidden. How's everybody doing on this Friday evening? I'm so excited because we have a very, very, very special guest. It's been a long time since we've had a guest on this show. So
Yes.
I'm really, really excited for today's conversation, especially because I talk about this modality or this therapy and this body work, right? I always, and people are like, body work, like plastic surgery.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about therapeutic body work. So I'm excited to have Mr. Johanes Vlaar on with us tonight. And he's actually done some body work on me. He's done some body work on you.
Yes.
Cranial Sacral. I think I've done a little bit of Somatoemotional Release work with you. So yeah, take it away and let everybody know who you are.
Hi, my name is Johanes Vlaar. I'm a physical therapist, originally from the Netherlands. Came over here in 1992, and I was just lucky enough that I landed so close to the Upledger Institute, which is right up the street from here, and started taking classes. And from the first day, I was, no, maybe not the first day. By the third day of the first class, I was definitely hooked. I did not know that I wasn't feeling well. I didn't know that there was nothing wrong with me. But I just realized on day 3, I felt so damn good. And I'm like, how can this be? Because it's fellow novices, just like me, being instructed, do this, do that, feel for the craniosacral rhythm, use 5 grams of pressure. And as a physical therapist, 5 grams of pressure is nothing. So
let me hold you. Okay, so 1 second. Let me pause you right there because I want to talk about something that you said that's really important, which is you didn't even know. You didn't know that you weren't feeling well, which is probably 95% of the entire world. They don't know because there is contrast once you start doing this type of work. So if you're not doing any type of work, you really don't know how good you can really feel. I mean, that's how it happened for me when I started doing my shadow work. So, I mean, yeah, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So just, after that third day and I started feeling so great. And then the fourth day was just on top of that. And I'm like, okay, I need to know what this is, how can this work? Didn't make any sense in my my previous training that something that subtle could have such a huge impact.
Wow.
Right. So can you explain to people kind of what cranial sacral is so they can understand like how it works?
Yeah. So craniosacral therapy was developed by Dr. John Upledger, who was an osteopath, and he was trained in cranial osteopathy, which is a manipulative technique, which was originally developed by Dr. Stills and then Dr. Sunderland in the I think it was in the 20s, started to elaborate on it and look for, he would actually put a helmet on his head and tighten up certain areas so this bone couldn't move. And then he would write down the next morning, like, hey, what am I feeling? And his wife would take notes like, oh, your speech is off, or you're not thinking clearly, or damn, I have a headache, whatever it may be. And so that still existed. But then Dr. Upledger decided to, from a manipulative technique, he said, you know what, if I teach people how to move the connective tissue, because every bone is, every joint is held together by connective tissue that spans over it, the ligaments, the joint capsule. And he said, if I do that, then I can teach this to a lot more people, because now massage therapists can use this technique. Anybody that has basically a license to touch can learn this technique. And it is, I can't quite say that I have that much of experience with cranial osteopathy, but this is just, it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so these techniques that you're using, does it originate? It originated in America with this doctor?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Dr. Stills actually was out. He can't say where he was, but basically his family was out on the frontier. I mean,
okay.
he lived close to Native Americans. His father was a preacher and would go from town to town and preach. And he was a very religious man himself. And so osteopathy in general is much more than just a technique. It is actually a philosophy that we are created in God's image. And so if we're created in God's image, we're perfect. So if we're not perfect because we're getting sick or we start having ailments, if we can find where the restriction is and we release that restriction, then the body can go back to healing itself.
Gotcha. I was going to say, because it sounds a lot like either indigenous tribes techniques or something from the Far East.
Yeah, both were influential from what I understand. He did take elements of that and then incorporated it into his bone setting, as it was called back in the day.
Wow, pretty interesting. This is incredible stuff. And so you're literally moving energy around the body, or are you removing energy blockages from the body?
Okay, so it's still a somato technique.
Okay.
As opposed to where you're completely off the body, you can do energy work. I know that there's energy transference happening, but you still, as a practitioner, I still check in with the body. I feel how the body is moving with the craniosacral rhythm. You find where the restrictions are. You sink into the layer of where that restriction is, and then you kind of you hang out at the barrier with that 5 grams. Sometimes you need to use more, but initially just the 5 grams, just to kind of let the body know, like, hey, something's going on here. And then if you can incorporate your client's awareness and say, like, hey, can you bring your awareness here between my hands? Can you feel what's going on? Because a lot of times those restrictions are there because something happened and we stuffed it away. Whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, if you first get an impact, you kind of like your body, your energy, your spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, temporarily pulls away from that area. And I think that because of our society, that we don't necessarily have the wherewithal anymore, that after the threat is gone, we need to get back in there and we need to reintegrate, and then you can be whole again. Until that time, you have these areas in your body that you kind of have to work around even when you're moving. And if there's something there that you stuff there that's emotional, or that is a trauma with a memory, you don't want to access it. And you may not even be aware of it. So then when you become aware of it and you start feeling into that area, you automatically start having an energy transference, a information transference from your conscious, subconscious into that area, and then it can start resolving.
Wow. So you're saying that people that are stuffing trauma from traumatic experiences and things that have happened to them, it finds a way sometimes to store itself in different parts of the body. And then that part of the body, because the spirit's not really accessing that area consciously, it becomes dis-ease, which turns into disease.
Exactly.
Right.
Very well said. Yeah, and the
So,
longer it's there, sometimes what happens, especially if it happens when you're, say, 3, 4 years old,
yeah.
something happens, and and at that point it was very big and very traumatic for you.
Mm.
When you revisit it in your 20s, 30s, 40s, it might, when you actually connect with it, you go like, it wasn't that big a deal,
Right.
But as long as you don't look at it, it kind of, the shadow keeps growing,
Mm.
and it becomes more scary and
Right.
more difficult to actually connect with it.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for instance, I remember one time I was actually working with Mindy in Michigan, and
Mhm.
she was working on some part of my body, but I got a flood of memory all of a sudden, and it was something so minuscule. I think I was in a crib, and I think I fell over in my crib or something, but it wasn't a big deal, like just like you said. But at the time, my body, my little body, and my consciousness at that moment in time, I was terrified, right?
Yep.
So just to be able to revisit that, let that go. My older self now told my younger self, okay, you're good. It's all okay. Everything is fine. You're safe now. And it kind of just full circle. I felt so much lighter after that session. And stuff like this happens all the time when I go into this therapy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so powerful.
Mhm.
Just I've
Mhm.
had huge releases before. And then sometimes, can you explain? So I've had huge releases, like emotional releases that'll make me cry, but I don't even remember the memory. So what's
Mhm.
that about?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
I don't know. Most of the times that I get worked on, I have the same experience.
Mhm.
I feel an emotion coming up, and I might be crying. I might be bawling my eyes out. I feel like I need to literally just throw up,
Mm.
Mhm.
get something out of my stomach, whatever it is that I've been holding there. I think if you need to know, the information will come to you because it's part of the healing process.
Mhm.
If you don't get it, it just means like you just need that energy just needs to dissipate because
Right.
it no longer serves a purpose,
Mm.
and you knowing what it's about is not necessary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Minnie was telling me because she wanted me to actually become a practitioner because I'm very sensitive to the touch because it is a very, very light touch. I mean, you hardly feel it.
Mhm.
How she checks in, it's kind of like what you do sometimes, but she'll put her hand on my head, and then I could feel just it's almost like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a rush of energy that goes from the tip of my head down to
Mhm.
my feet, and then sometimes it stops in different areas.
Mm.
So I can feel the heaviness in different areas. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, okay. So that point, the first time I ever got this therapy, she did that and it stopped in this point right on my chest.
Mm.
And she went there immediately. I was like, okay, I know this is real because
Yeah.
she went to that point that I felt immediately.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's really, really astounding to me just how I mean, you have to be so sensitive to be able to feel these things, right? Because 5 grams of pressure, I mean, it takes a very, very sensitive person to be able to do this work, right? I mean,
Um, I yeah. See, I when I started this, I didn't consider myself to be super sensitive.
Mm.
I didn't feel energies. I I think I am a little bit of an empath, but not like off the charts empath.
Mhm.
It's something that you can definitely you learn.
Wow.
Just like anything else, the more you do it, the more aware you become of the subtleties.
Mm.
Whether it's playing sports
Mhm.
and you just know that little fake or what have you may do what you want it to do, or how you plant your foot just
Mhm.
changes a little bit in how you follow through.
Right.
It's I guess it's sort of part of it is almost like a tissue memory or some kind of memory here. And
Mhm.
it's hard to explain sometimes because when I treat it the way that I used to treat,
Mhm.
it's like it's mechanical. I say, okay, this is up, this needs to rotate this way, and this is how I'm going to release it. And then you check the range of motion. You go, okay, now it's moving better.
Yeah.
Those treatments I remember very well.
Mhm.
But when I get into that space of being grounded and melding with somebody, it's somehow recollection is difficult. Because you're just in a different space where your conscious mind is not doing the same thing. And that's part of it, is that you just have to get if you can get your ego out of the way, that's the biggest thing.
Gotcha.
Because if you go in and I'm coming in and saying like, oh, I'm going to fix you. I'm not going to fix you.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm not listening. At that point, I'm not listening to your body anymore. If I'm just completely open-minded, now all the information that can come to me, I'm open to. But if I say, oh, it's an elbow problem, and that's where I'm focused on, and I don't feel what's going on in the neck or the shoulder or in the pelvis, or whether it's emotional or physical, all those things, you miss it as soon as you start zeroing in and thinking that you know what you need to do.
Right. Interesting. Wow.
Did you think that I was crazy when I would come home and tell you like, hey, I got this body work, and they put their hands like this and I'm all better now?
I was like, body work? You got something done? Because I'm like, how are you walking around with no bandages on? I'm thinking surgery. But she doesn't have surgery. So I'm like, well, what's going on here? And she started explaining it to me. And I was like, okay. Now, I'm a pretty open-minded person, thankfully. So I never shun things away, because you know what? After some of the experiences that I've had in my life, I can't shun away anybody's experiences, because my experiences are crazy. And I know that. So if something like that can happen to me, then who am I to say that something, what somebody would consider to be even miraculous, couldn't have happened to them, whether they can explain it, articulate it or not. So I was open to it. And I had, my back was hurting. I have a lower back injury from a car accident years ago, as you know. And she told me I should come in and get some body work done by you, which I did. And I did try to get out of it once or twice, but I ended up saying, if I keep trying to get out of this, she's going to get frustrated. So let me participate. But I made sure before I walked through the door that I opened my mind. I actually stopped. I just cleared my mind, so I wouldn't have any blockages, mental blockages, preventing me from potentially getting better. And so I was open-minded, and I came in completely open-minded, and you and I think your wife worked on me. And
my girlfriend,
girlfriend. Okay, yeah. And it was pretty interesting because it was like a tag team wrestling match without the impacts, but she was working on one part of my body with feeling blockages and energy, and you were working on my back, my lower back, and you were applying that pressure to my spine. And I heard you guys talking, and she was saying something about a blockage in my hip or something, and you guys are moving it around or opening up these blockages in my body. And I gotta admit, after about an hour, when I got off that table, my back was a lot better. I was able to bend forward, sit up without any pain, and it was something you guys really did something for me in that session, which is why I came back a second time. So it's pretty interesting stuff, and people should have an open mind about these different types of therapies, because all of these things, these types of therapies, I believe, are kind of rooted in ancient wisdom, and that have traveled a long time, and we've rediscovered them over and over again. But I think they've already been here.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things in this kind of work is, as a therapist, that you show up and that you ground yourself, that you get your ego out of the way, and that you hold a healing space and a fully can't think of the word right now, a non-judgmental space. Wherever that person is at their point at that moment is where you meet them. And that's a big difference too between other therapies where a doctor or a therapist comes in and they go like, okay, I'm here, come meet me over here. Which already you lose a lot of information already, because now that patient is not where they were at. So if you can just allow them to be fully who they are and be in that space, and then you meet them there and basically say, I see you, I feel you, I accept you exactly as you are, where you are right now. That in itself is probably 90% of the work.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is incredible stuff. So what's the difference between cranial sacral therapy and somatoemotional release work?
Well, cranial sacral therapy is, once you've done it all, there's really not much of a difference. But cranial sacral therapy, if you take the first class, they teach you a protocol, how to assess the body, how to feel for the cranial sacral rhythm, and how to treat. It's called a 10-step protocol. So you have different parts of the body that you work in. If you get good at it, you can do it in 60 minutes. Usually in the beginning, probably 90 minutes is better. And then you've created a body that is, you're not getting rid of everything, but you start getting the body in a position where it's closer to being able to heal itself and to be more integrated. So that's cranial psychotherapy 1. And then 2 is a lot about mouth work, because we have so many bones in our skull. And the skull surrounds our central nervous system. Well, the skull, the spine, and then the sacrum at the bottom. That's why it's called craniosacral therapy. So when you can, if those bones are not moving right, then the cerebral spinal fluid is not moving right. And that is a big part of taking care of your central nervous system. So if you can restore that and that starts moving better, then automatically the body starts to become healthier. So that's the craniosacral. Well, that's the first and the second class. Then somatoemotional release is more like you said earlier, Elisabeth. It's about learning how to find, through arcing, you find these spots where somebody is holding a charge, if you will. And you don't know if it's, when you start, you don't know if it's an emotional charge or if it's, it's not purely physical, but then so very, very little things in our body is purely physical. Because if you're an athlete and you're in a big game and you get hurt, you don't just feel that pain of being hurt. It might, immediately you start wondering about, what does this do for my future? All kinds of things. What does it look like? Whatever it may be, there's always a lot of emotion involved, including maybe anger towards the guy that did it to you. So I don't necessarily see anything as being purely physical or being purely emotional. It's usually it's just a scale or a bell curve, if you will. But if you do a somatoemotional release, now you're just sinking in and you get into that tissue. And I don't do a somatoemotional release. I create the environment in which somebody feels comfortable enough to allow themselves to connect with that, so they can feel and experience whatever might be there. And that's basically that's somatoemotional release.
Wow.
Well, I remember a session I had you and your girlfriend working on me at the same time, and I think she was working on my abdomen, and she said she had an overwhelming sense of baby formula. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, she was like, I smell it, I taste it, it's just everywhere, baby formula. And I started thinking about that. And what's interesting is the fact that I know I wasn't breastfed because I was adopted. So, and I know I have a ton of trauma attached to that whole process, the birth process. And I was being monitored basically in this orphanage for 3 months before I got adopted. So I know I got formula, and I know that there was just a lot of emotion attached to that whole experience. So I feel like maybe that was it, just releasing some of that deep rooted sadness or grief that I may have had. And then maybe she connected with that. And then I don't know. I mean, that was really interesting to me. She's like, it's baby formula. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you get these like when you start getting these feelings within your body, what does that mean? I mean, is it a signal from the patient's body that, like, what does that mean, that transfer?
It can, usually it is from the patient's body, but it also depends on how clear you are yourself as a therapist. Because if I'm sitting at a table and I got, my own stuff going on and I can't get out of that space, and all of a sudden I feel like sadness or I feel fear or anger, I have to check in with myself and say, like, hey, is this, I think all of us as therapists, the first thing we do is we don't just automatically blab and go like, oh, this is fear or what have you. You sit back and you check in and you go like, okay, is this me?
Right.
Or is this coming from the client?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can ask yourself, okay, is this important that I tell the client this?
Mm.
And there's ways of checking, and you feel the body and you feel the body's response, and it will just basically tell you like, yes,
Mm.
Yes, this is the client. Yes, this is important. So then you'll share it.
Wow.
If you're not sure, I don't share just because I don't want to put my experience any higher than your experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the table, whatever I feel is as long as it's helpful in your process, I may share it. But if it's not, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Mm.
Because you might, especially when you come in, you're like, okay, that's the therapist. They know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if it comes to your body, you know.
Mm.
Whether you know it or not, your body knows.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that we can do as therapists is try to be as aware of that and be conscious of it and continue to be very gentle.
Right. Wow.
So if somebody comes in and they tell me like, oh, I want a somatoemotional release session. The only thing I can tell them is that, I'll support you in that process, but I cannot force you to have a somatoemotional release.
Mm-hmm.
If I do and I force something and you start crying, it won't solve anything.
Mm.
It would be very awkward if it happened to be helpful for you because I didn't listen to you.
Right. Interesting. Are you listening to is this communication that's transferring from the cells in the body or from the chakras? Like, do you have a focal point of where the information is coming from, or is it just random energy points throughout the body?
No, energy flows throughout the body. I don't check particular energy points.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check particular parts of the body because you have certain diaphragms in the body that have a tendency because of your fascia being mostly vertically oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You have areas where you have mostly a horizontal orientation of fascia, your pelvic floor, your respiratory diaphragm, thoracic inlet, here with your throat. So you feel for those areas you check more to see like, okay, everything's, things are not moving right here, but things are moving right there. So something in between is happening. So you kind of narrow it down. Excuse me. So then when you're working the area, energy to me is everywhere.
Mm.
It's not limited. It's not like acupuncture where
Right.
you work with meridians. Now, if you have that knowledge, you can incorporate some of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But not the way I work. I know too little about acupuncture to use it safely or wisely.
Yeah, gotcha. This is pretty amazing because what I'm learning from you now is that I wouldn't say anyone, but most people can go in and learn these incredible healing techniques as long as they're willing to have an open mind, get their ego out of the way, and willing to learn and learn how to listen to the patient's body. Most people can, if they wanted to, take these classes and learn how to assist people in these areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to make an exception for people that were caregivers. Say you're a mom of an autistic child, or you have a loved one that's been in a debilitating accident. You can take those classes with the understanding that you will only use that to work on them. If you go further than that, you do have to have a license to touch. But
Gotcha.
you could be a nurse, you could be a chiropractor, you could be physical therapist, massage therapist. You know, it's Dr. Upledger really expanded the work with changing it to a soft tissue technique.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So there's some people asking where you're located. So you're in Fort Worth, Florida, right? Fort Worth.
Lake Worth, Florida.
Lake Worth.
Okay.
Since 2 years, it's Lake Worth Beach, Florida.
Lake Worth, Florida.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
And I actually, if anyone is in Michigan, I saw someone from Michigan in the chat. There is a woman named Mindy in Southfield, Michigan, that is very, very talented. Johannes, you guys work together, right? Did she train you, or did you guys just work together for a long time?
We actually met the first time at a craniosacral class, and I think we were both teaching assistants. So if you, with these classes, there's a teacher, but if there's 30, 40 students and they start going to their tables to practice these techniques, the teacher themselves, they cannot check everybody. So if you've taken the classes a couple of times and they think that you're qualified enough, then you can become a teaching assistant. And I think we were a teaching assistant, both of us. And she started seeing me for some work that for herself. And then, because she was up the road in Port St. Lucie, I think. So we started working together, and then occasionally we would, offer these co-treats like I do with Bethany now. And I think it was 3-4 years ago that Mindy decided to move up to Detroit. She had been going back and forth for a long time. 1 month up there, 1 month down here, and I think she decided that was just a better place for her to just be in one spot instead of traveling up and down all the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's actually the one that recommended you, because she knew I was moving to Florida, and I'm like, I have to be able to get this work. And she recommended you. So I actually started going to you before I actually moved down here. And I think this was about a year ago now, but she was down here. You guys both co-treated me. And that was one of the most amazing sessions that I literally have ever had. I mean, Mindy, she's been through a lot of stuff. So I feel like sometimes when therapists have been through a lot, they're very sensitive to people who have been through maybe the same type of things. So after that session, she calls me and she told me some stuff that she felt during the session that I haven't told anybody. Nobody knows this. And she was like, this and this. She's like, why do you do this? This should change. And she's like, I was like, what? I mean, things that I haven't told anybody, but she felt that. And something about you two being together, it makes her able to feel things in a deeper way, I think, because that was incredible. Crazy.
Wow. I think anytime that you do a co-treat, it's the what's the saying? The sum of the, no, I'm saying it wrong. The sum is greater than the total of the parts.
Right.
There's a synergy going on where you can address things, and you have so much more energy, if you will, going on in the body that it just opens things up so much faster.
It's magnifying.
And it could also be that as a therapist, as a client, sometimes, because even if you go in with the best intentions, there's reasons why you have these areas that you haven't connected. You are very protective about it. So then to have one set of hands on you, you can kind of focus on it, and whether it's your conscious effort or not, usually it's not, you're still kind of blocking it. To have two pairs of hands working on you makes it, makes everything work so much faster. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it can be incredible.
I saw a few people asking in the chat if you do remote work.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I do. I actually, when I was up until about 5, 6 years ago, people would tell me like, "Oh, I do remote work," and I'm like, "Okay," I skeptic, maybe just like you, Billy. Like I got an open mind. I've seen things.
Okay.
I'm not saying like it can happen, but
Right.
I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
And so then COVID came along, and I don't know if I got a call from somebody that asked if I could work on them remotely. There was also somebody through the Upledger Institute, Suzanne Skurlik-Durana, who has her own classes. She offered a class where she would teach you how to work remotely.
Wow.
So I took that class and I worked with it, and it's mind blowing. It's really weird. I had a client just and this is why I had to laugh, because I started at the beginning of COVID, and then when things started picking up again, it's actually easier for me to work on the body than it is to work remotely, because I feel like my concentration and my focus needs to be so much stronger because I have nothing else to fall back on. I can't fall back on what I'm feeling with my hands.
Right.
Right. So I got this old patient of mine. She said, my brother is going through a lot of things. He's not in the country. Can you treat him remotely? And I thought about it for about a week, and I was going back and forth like, I don't even know if I can do it. And I decided to go ahead, and I said, yes, sure. So we set it up last week, and just to make it easier, what I was doing is I had my table set up behind me. I did a quick screening of him first visually. We were on Zoom so that I could see how he was, physically, how he was lining up, how he was presenting, how even just facial expressions, just body language, whatever information you can get that way. And then I had him find a comfortable spot in his house and just, try to see if he could arrange it so that he wouldn't be disturbed for an hour. And I started treating him like he was on my table. And wherever I was drawn to, after I had him scan his whole body and say like, okay, something is off here, and then we kind of like said, yeah, that's a good place to work.
Yeah.
Started working there, and my hands automatically just started moving in certain directions, and I could feel so much, even like emotions that were coming out for him that I was feeling.
Yeah.
I was tearing up.
Wow.
We're talking about it right now. It's kind of like,
powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Through my work and my studies in quantum physics.
Yeah, there's no space, right?
Part of this can be explained because locality is an illusion. Distance is an illusion. Everything is in the same location when you really analyze the quantum mechanics of it all. And also, because of quantum entanglement, it's possible. Now, in actual laboratory studies and controlled environments, they've been able to take one person's mind in one room and another person's mind in another room and connect the minds together through quantum entanglement. They even had one person looking at a video game, but his hands on the remote control, and the other person in the other room, the one with the remote control was blindfolded, but in front of a TV. The other one is in front of the screen who can see the TV, but doesn't have the remote control. Once they made the quantum entangled mind link, the gentleman that didn't have the remote or the gamepad was able to remote control the hands, move the fingers and the hands of the gentleman that was blindfolded. So this spooky action at a distance is what Einstein called it. And I think that's what you tapped into. You quantum entangled with your patient's body and mind, and you were able to then do the work. The distance is an illusion. You could have done that through a trillion light years away. You could have done the same exact work because there is no distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know you're right, and I read all the studies. It's still like, because we live in such a physical world, if I want to get to my apartment, I still have to walk out of here, get in my car, and drive over there. You know, it's like, I know it, but then to actually use it,
right,
and to feel the effect of it, and to have him collaborate what I'm feeling, and you know, calling me afterwards or sending me a text and saying, like, you know, thank you so much, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that even with it's a little side note, but having somebody being able to be in their safe space, where they're in their bed, they're in their apartment, it's their environment. It automatically makes it easier for them to fully let go. It's much easier than when you walk into somebody's office and you're lying down on the table.
Right.
So I think that helps to definitely offset the fact that you're not physically present, and may even in some cases enhance it.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
That's just amazing. My girlfriend, she does Reiki. She's a master Reiki person. And she's worked on me remotely before, and I got really, really sick with the sickness, and my head, I couldn't even think. My head was hurting so bad. So she offered to do Reiki, long distance Reiki on me, and I immediately felt relief. And so I know, I mean, she even told me she can feel her hands just go places. She closes her eyes and connects, and then her hands will just move all around. And she feels the energy. So
and I'm a witness to this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is truly, truly amazing.
She was all the way in Michigan, and her friend was doing the remote Reiki from Orlando, Florida.
Yeah. And she does that for me a lot, because I'll get these migraines and I just won't know what to do. So I'll call her like, hey, please. So she does it, and there's always relief involved, always. So I know this is powerful work. All this stuff is just powerful work.
Yeah, and I think the first step is maybe even just to have somebody that has the compassion and the willingness to connect with you that way. You know, and sometimes that could be like you're in, and you just have somebody on the phone, you know, your friend, and they go like, or they call you and they say like, hey, for whatever reason, I was just thinking about you.
Right.
Yeah. And you go like, wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just for the people that are watching this right now, so this type of work has helped me profoundly. I'm talking like this work is the only work that has helped me get rid of my road rage. I started with Mindy probably about 3.5-4 years ago, and I had crazy amounts of road rage. I'm talking, I almost killed myself. It was just bad, really, really bad situation. And now I don't have it anymore.
No, you don't.
And I can attribute that to this therapy, because the anger, we've worked with my anger so much, so much, which is deep rooted in there from adoption stuff. So, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that that's just gone. I noticed it getting less and less and less over time, and now it's literally gone. I mean, I'll get irritated, but it's not like I'm gonna act on my irritation anymore. It's like,
Yeah, and I think that's the difference, and why it's so important that you get this kind of work done. Because I was the opposite. When I started with cranial sacral therapy, and I would get treatment, and people were always drawn to my liver, which in Chinese medicine is where you hold your anger. And then they would say like, oh, man, you're holding so much anger. And I'm like, I don't have an angry bone in my body. That's how disconnected I was. I could not even say, I mean, at least you knew that you were angry. Right? I didn't even know that I was angry.
Wow.
Until I took another class with through the Ledger Institute with Stan Jerome, and part of the class was, okay, after you did some meditations, like, okay, draw a self-portrait. And I'm not a good drawer, but you know, I drew, outline of my face and my neck. And all of a sudden I'm starting drawing this fanged, fire spewing dragon head coming out of the side of my neck. And I'm like,
Wow.
I guess
Yeah.
I have anger issues.
Yeah.
And then what I needed to do is, once I knew that, and then through the class, because fortunately the class wasn't over after that, is just gently get in touch with that anger and then feel it. Because the reason I'd learned this afterwards, that the reason that I didn't allow myself to feel any anger is because there's been a couple of instances where when I was younger, when I let that anger out, and I either hurt myself or I hurt somebody else. And I made a decision where I said, okay, I cannot be angry because I had no control over it. So I had to relearn how to get in touch with my anger. And once you do, and you understand that at any time you can still, rein it in and you have control over it. Now it doesn't become such a big thing.
Right.
Which is probably similar to what happened to you, is that once you understood your anger and you still get angry, but your anger doesn't take over and say, Elisabeth, sit back because now I'm driving the bus.
Right.
And then you're sitting back and you're going like, you can see yourself doing it.
Yeah.
And you can't stop yourself.
You can't stop yourself.
Right?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a weird sensation, but those are the things that, if you can incorporate yourself into more of a whole thing, now you become more wholesome.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Someone asked in the chat, they asked if it was the work that helped me or my mindset. And it's both. It's both of those things, because like you were saying, Johannes, the anger would take over. So I couldn't control it. I would see it, but I couldn't control it. It would take over. So now I can get angry, but it's not going to take me over anymore, because I was able to dissipate some of that old stagnant anger in my body and release it. So I don't have it anymore. It doesn't control me. So I mean, it's a little bit of both.
Now you can react based on what's happening in the moment.
Yes.
Instead of the moment triggering the past, and now all that comes in with it.
Right.
And that you have no control over.
Yeah.
So if you can treat your past, and if you can clear that, now you can be more fully in the moment, and now your responses are appropriate because they're based on what's going on right now. Somebody else may still not think your actions are appropriate, but at least for you they are. I have a right to be angry. I have a right to speak up. Instead of want to get your tire iron and smash somebody's window in.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. These kind of treatments and therapies are so important. And I know a lot of people who have been following for years, they started asking me questions like, you used to talk about aliens all the time, and you used to talk about the Anunnaki and all the, and that's great. And I still do. But, I learned that we have to integrate other aspects of self-knowledge and knowledge of self and growth and healing into the conscious community. Because in order for us to really, I feel for mankind to move forward and evolve spiritually and consciously, we have to focus on all aspects of healing and knowledge and wisdom. We can't just stay in one little tiny corner and think we're going to make it to the next level. I think the work that you're doing is so important in helping people and clear trauma, remove dis-ease from their bodies, clear blockages, realign chakras, and all that kind of stuff is so important to help us continue to grow and be our best selves, so we can actually have space in our bodies to take in more knowledge and more information. Because when you're full of all this pain and anger and hurt, it's hard to take in anything. It's hard to focus on anything because you have no space left.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you have to, what we'll do is we'll take that anger and we'll take that part of us that we don't want to see, and now we project it on somebody else.
Yes.
Exactly. So now your suffering and your pain is because of this group of people. Or that group of people, and worst case scenario, if only you could get rid of that group of people, then the world would be a better place. And obviously, it doesn't work that way. We've seen it time and time again. And so if you can be clear with yourself, the one thing that happens is, you get softer with yourself, and you can love yourself. And once you can love yourself and you accept yourself for who you are, including the parts that you're not necessarily proud of, but you can still acknowledge them, and you can feel them, and they're part of you. Now you don't have the need to project that outwards. And now you can look at somebody else, and you can accept them and see them exactly where they're at, instead of going like, okay, you fall in that category,
Right.
Exactly. I mean, you guys both said it so correctly. I mean, what is all the knowledge in the world? You could have all the knowledge in the whole entire world, but if you're sad, if you get triggered all the time, and you're out here cussing people out and acting inappropriately all the time, and you have all this stuff, trauma and stress, then what is conscious about that? Because you're not conscious, because your emotions are controlling you. So if you don't do this type of work, how can you be conscious, even if you have all the knowledge? So you have to meld the two together, because like you said too, I mean, if you're so stuffed up with stress and trauma, you're not going to be able to take in more knowledge. It's impossible. I mean, we were driving the other day, and you were like, hey, look at this building over here. I didn't even know that was there. I was like, wow, I didn't either. But it's because we're able to, now we can see more, because we were able to release some other stuff. And once you're able to get that space, you can take in so much more. I mean, you have to integrate everything into this conscious world of people. You have to integrate it all, because it all works together. And I personally, in my opinion, it's the most important thing to become conscious within yourself, more so than knowing all the education, knowledge in the whole world. Because if you're not happy within yourself, and you're not loving within yourself, then you're not going to be that person outwardly to others. So once you can really, really come back into who you're supposed to be, which is a divine being, I mean, you're not conscious, in my opinion.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I don't know who said it, but I read it somewhere. It says, be the change you want to see in the world. And that's what it comes down to, because I could tell somebody else what they need to do to clean up your shit, because it takes responsibility away from me, and it's so much easier to tell somebody else what to do than to take the time and try to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Or do it yourself. But then you can become, just like you guys. I mean, people see you and they go like, okay, yeah, you know what, it's possible. We can be centered, and we can be, and we can make a change that way, not by telling people what to do, but by showing people how you can be.
Exactly. That's the key.
It is.
That's right. Lead by example.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can inspire. You can't change anybody, but you can inspire change within somebody. You can inspire that person to want to change. That's all you really can do. That's all I dedicate all my work to. You dedicate what it's exactly what we do. I mean, we lead by example, right? Because who would we be if we were not doing this type of work and then preaching about it, but not, actually being that person?
We take part in all of it. Anything that we're talking about, we participate in it. Because, how can you talk on something that you know nothing of?
Right.
So it's just great. How can people find you on social media?
Not just, I have a website.
Okay.
www.viptherapy.com.
The website
That's how they can find me.
Gotcha.
I've written a little thing about the different techniques that I use. There's two other things that I do in addition to cranial sacral therapy and somatoemotional release. I also do myofascial release. I do actually three more. Myofascial release. I do Jean-Pierre Barral's work. He is a French osteopath, and he created these techniques of how to work with organs to release those, because they also hold a lot of emotions. They are connected to your spine, to other structures. So if they're not moving right, you're not moving right.
Yeah.
So beautiful work, and then at the same time some nerve gliding techniques, because if a nerve has been crushed, it doesn't just automatically, even if you take the pressure away through surgery or the traumatic event is gone, it doesn't mean that that nerve automatically goes, okay, now everything's working again. That compression may still stay there. So you need to, very gently start loosening that up. And it's one of the techniques. You mentioned Mindy before, Mindy Stempler in Detroit. She is phenomenal when it comes to brain work and when it comes to nerve work. It's probably, when I talk to her, she says it's probably 80% of her practice now.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you guys are both so talented, and I feel very honored that I was led to you guys, because it has made like I said before, a profound change in my life. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without this type of work. So I give you guys thanks all the time. And we'll be coming to see you very soon.
Yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. I'll be back for my 3rd session.
Yes.
That sounds good. I'll hold you to
it. Yeah, no, I know Mindy's going to be in town in a couple weeks, so I'm going to contact you about getting some sessions scheduled for us, some co-treat sessions, because like I said, I mean, those couple sessions that I had with both you guys were the most profound sessions that I've ever had, and I've been doing this for a long time. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. So informative.
Yeah, I appreciate
thanks for having me.
Yes.
I was nervous. It's been wonderful. Thanks for having me on.
Easy peasy, right?
No problem. Yeah, and we'll have you back again for sure.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we will talk soon for sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Oops. That was awesome.
Yes.
So informative.
Yeah, incredible.
Yes.
He is absolutely incredible.
Such a talented practitioner.
I mean, I'm talking from firsthand experience myself.
I know. And I'm so happy you finally went, because it's good. It's
Yeah.
really, really good.
It is. Yeah. It's something I recommend to everybody. If you can do it, do it. We dropped his information in the chat quite a few times. We will also put it in the caption of this video and this podcast, so that no matter where you hear it or see it, you will be able to contact his practice and schedule an appointment.
Yep, exactly. And this is his website right here.
Yes.
Schedule you some appointments. I mean, it will change your life.
We got to say it out loud for the podcasters. VIPtherapy.com.
Yes, VIPtherapy.com.
Okay.
I forgot. I always forget. Like, I'm pointing like, hey, go here.
They can't see it.
It's really, really great. All of these things that we talk about, these different modalities that we talk about, we've both experienced them. And the reason why we talk about them is because they work. They work.
Yeah.
I mean, they work in an amazing way. So like I said, thank you. I'm so grateful for having him on. And let's talk about some of the things though that we have going on.
Yeah, I can go here. I can pull it here. Yeah, no problem. And we'll pull this down. So we have a lot of cool stuff going on, guys. I'm still doing the giveaway for my movie poster for the Black Knight Satellite documentary. The original movie poster, which is 4 feet by 5 feet, is a huge poster. I made that poster 2.5 years ago before I wrote the movie. I literally said, you know what? I'm going to do this movie on the Black Knight. I didn't even have a script in mind, didn't even know who I was going to interview yet, but I went and made the movie poster first, because that's the power of manifesting. That's how I operate. I see the end before the end. So I made the poster for the movie before the movie even existed. And that original one-of-one movie poster, I'm going to give it away. In order for you to win it, doesn't cost you any money. Just text me. Text hashtag. I'm going to type it in the comments. Black Knight, BLACKKNIGHT. Hashtag Black Knight to 954-245-0086. I'm going to drop it in the chat. That's hashtag Black Knight to 954-245-0086. At the end of December, I'm going to pick somebody out of that hashtag Black Knight group, and you'll be the winner. We'll text you and ask for your address where you want it sent. I'll autograph it. And that movie, the Black Knight satellite is now officially a winner.
An award-winning documentary. And not only is it award-winning, but it is the #1 independent documentary of the year. That's big.
#1.
Yes, #1.
Because at Forbidden Knowledge, we don't play. Everything's got to be #1.
I know, everything.
Everything's #1.
Everything. Yes.
All the books are in the bestsellers list.
Yeah, they are.
4 and 5 countries bestsellers.
Yeah.
Documentaries #1. The #1 independent film of the year. So, and you can only watch it on Forbidden Knowledge TV. So everybody's saying you got to put these things on all these big platforms. No, you want to watch it? I got a big platform. It's called Forbidden Knowledge TV. Go to Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Yes. You can go to Samsung
and now TV. Samsung. Yes, we just found out that it was it released on Samsung.
We're on Samsung TVs. Go to Samsung's TV app and then go to Forbidden Knowledge. When you type in 4B, it's going to pop up right away. Yes. Install the app, get a free trial, watch shows. We got over 6,000 shows up there.
Give it a 5-star rating too. If you guys have Apple, Samsung, anything, give it a 5-star rating. Okay, we're trying to. That always looks good. Give the podcast a 5-star rating. Yeah. Give our books a nice review. Anytime you guys resonate with anything that Billy says, that I might say, a book, anything Forbidden Knowledge, anything at all. It's the reviews. It's the stars. It's that's what's really, draws people in, because if someone's just surfing and they see someone with a 1-star, they're like, but if they see a 5-star or a great review about something, then they're going to pick that thing up. Yes,
you're going to increase the engagement.
Yes.
So more knowledge gets spread to more people.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to give that away. But again, it's 954-245-0086. Text #Black Knight. Okay. 954-245-0086. Elisabeth is typing it in the chat one more time. All right. And I'm going to give that away. It's my manifesting poster for the documentary, 1 of 1. And there's a picture of it online 2.5 years ago when King Simon came to my house to autograph one of his books. We took a picture of him signing the book for me. And on the wall is that poster in my other house before we moved over here. So it's, the way that I operate with my manifesting is through power. And so, I have my Manifest Destiny Workshop 2023 coming up.
Yes. Very, very soon.
Done it 4 years in a row. Every year I bring more knowledge, more information. This year I'm bringing new science to the manifesting, because I always talk about the science first so that people can understand what is going on beyond the veil. How is this working? How is my spiritual self connecting with the universe to help manifest these things into my life? I break it down for you in ways that you can understand, and I'm coming with all new manifestation techniques, all new interactive things that we're going to do during the actual workshop to get you to see the power of how you can manifest something instantly while we're on the workshop. You don't want to miss this workshop. It's going to be mind-blowing. Okay, so the link is dropping right now into the chat, and we'll put the link in the caption of this video or this podcast. And if you don't find the link, you can always go to eventbrite.com and just type in Billy Carson, and all my events will pop up right there. All right. I'm also doing another event with another person named Dr. B. Serious.
Real quick. The Manifest Destiny Workshop. I'll be doing like an hour and a half in there, talking specifically on new modalities, to different things that I've done actually this year that I want to talk about, that I've never talked about, not in my book, not online. So I'll be bringing some new little gems for you guys.
It's going to be huge. Yeah. Some cool stuff that you've never seen or talked about before. That will be in the Manifest Destiny Workshop. It's going to be 7 hours.
Yeah.
And then I'll be doing another one in January as well with Dr. B. Serious. It'll be an 8-hour class. We're talking about how to access your God power. It's going to be a powerful 8-hour class. So you should sign up for both of those classes. 2 classes in January that's going to set your 2023 off the way it should go, in a trajectory to reach the stars. And it's going to be an amazing 2023. Anyone who attends these classes from the previous years, the testimonials are incredible. You have some of those made, right? To
I
pull out.
do.
We're going to pull out some of those testimonials and start posting them so that people can actually see what people have said about these classes that we've done over the past 4 years with the Manifest Destiny classes. Every year it seems to get bigger and stronger, more and more people. And now, because I used to do them in person, but now because of what happened globally with the sickness, I decided to start doing them virtually. And the benefit of that is I actually can help more people. So now anyone anywhere in the world can actually be in the class.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
the reach is far more
reaching. Yes. And I'm excited to have you as a part of the first, this time for your first time being a part of the Manifest Destiny, your first time being part of the Manifest Destiny workshop.
Yes. I attended the last one, one or two. And just from that, I mean, wow, I learned some new techniques. And it's like you say all the time. I mean, I research a lot. I read a lot. I'm kind of nerdy. So I know a lot of things. So it's hard to necessarily kind of teach me about this type of stuff because this is what I dig into. This is my passion, my love. So I was actually very surprised. I took away a lot from last year's, a lot. So there's always some new stuff, some science. And what I love is the fact that you really, honestly, you bring the science, you bring the proof. So it's like people can't fight what's real. That's the thing. Like you people can't fight facts.
You can't fight the facts.
No.
And what I do is, I don't make you manifest anything. You tap into your own divine power to manifest your own reality. And what I do is I help you see that the door can be opened. Yeah. And once the door is open, you have to walk through it alone. But I get you there. I'm going to get you there with the science and the facts and the techniques. And then you're going to take off in your own rocket ship. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss it.
You get there. I like that you said that because that's what Johanes was talking about. He can't force you to have a release. You have to have the release.
Yes.
You have to have that. You have to come to your own realization. If you force somebody to walk through that door, they're not going to get it. Nope. It's not going to sink into them.
Nope, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I added my own little adage to an old adage. It said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink just because you're thirsty. Yeah. I added that little piece at the end. You can be thirsty for someone to be able to experience something so bad, and you'll do everything to try to help them get there. But if they're not willing, if they're not thirsty, all the work and effort you're putting into them goes to waste.
Exactly.
It's all for naught.
Exactly.
That person has to be totally thirsty on their own.
Right.
And then you can't do it for them.
Right. No.
All you can do is say the door's right there.
Right. And we were talking about school, right? You don't learn in school. You memorize. You memorize in school.
You memorize.
I learned everything after I left high school because I actually studied and researched things that I wanted to know about. So I retained that information. So
I talk about that all the time. I tell people, we know that 2 times 2 is 4. And if I ask somebody anywhere on the street, they'll say, oh, it's 4. And then I'll say, now, how come 2 times 2 is 4? They'll have to stop and think for a minute.
Right. Exactly.
Because nobody ever taught them why 2 times 2 is 4.
Yeah.
They memorize. We've been taught to memorize all the answers to everything. School is nothing but test taking and memorizing tests and memorizing answers. We're not really fully comprehending the process to get to the answer. Yeah. It's all about if you can memorize the answers, you can get a degree in anything. What about comprehension? What about understanding the process?
Comprehension.
That's why school, in a lot of ways, unfortunately, it fails us.
Yeah.
In my classes, I'm going to make sure you get the comprehension.
Right.
That's what I do. I break down everything into a level that you can understand it, and then you can access it, discern it, and then apply it. Because knowledge is not power. Let me tell you something again. Knowledge is not power.
Yeah.
Only the application of knowledge is power.
Applied knowledge is power.
If you don't apply the knowledge,
then you're just walking around with a bunch of information in your head.
Listen, there's a famous gentleman who, unfortunately, I think he passed away now. He was autistic. He was a savant. He had memorized well over 1,000 books, every single word and every single page. You can just ask him, tell him a yellow book, a phone book, a page number, and he would tell you every single person's name and phone number on that page. Okay. That's how strong his memory was. Now, his mind was sucking all that knowledge. He's walked around with thousands of books in his head, permanently memorized. but he didn't know how to apply any of that knowledge, obviously.
Yeah.
You can walk around with millions of books in your head, but if you don't have comprehension and application, you got zero. You have nothing.
Right.
I'm going to teach you the techniques. I'm going to show you what it is that's going on with the quantum mechanics, the metaphysics, the quantum physics, how it works, how the math explains the spirituality. And then that way, when you're doing the spiritual practices in your mind's eye, you'll realize what really is happening. It's not magic. I'm going to take all the magic out of it.
Right.
All the woo-woo out of it. Because when you start relying on magic and woo-woo and magical wizards flying around with wands and bing, you got this new house. It's you know, it's like it's just luck.
Bing.
It's just dumb luck is what people. And then when they get when the dumb luck hits, oh, won't he do it? He helped me get this house. No, he. There you go with the gender again.
I can't stand that. But
he didn't help you do anything.
No, life starts within a womb. It
life
starts in a womb.
Thank you. I came out of a womb. Did you come out of a womb?
I
came out of a womb. There's no he running around in space with magic wands going bing. And people think that they got this stuff because of this magical man with a robe on that has the capability of flying through space with a wand can bing. You want to win the football game this week and win the pot? Bing! You won. You want to win the lottery this week? And then when you don't win the lottery, wasn't it his plans?
I know.
Now I'm taking all that. I'm going to erase all that foolishness out of your brain and dump it in the trash. We're going to clean your brain out and we're going to start from zero. We're going to take you from zero to hero. That's why you got to be in my class. You got to be in my Manifest Destiny workshop. The link is in the caption of this video and podcast. I'm going to drop it in the chat one more time. I don't know if it's still pasted in here. Or that's the other one.
The other one. Yeah, and the stuff that you talk about and you're teaching, right? If people apply this to their lives, they will feel a difference. Just like whatever I'm going to be talking about, if you apply this to your life, you're going to feel different. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel, it's just, I mean, it's magical. If people would know the me before I became me today, I mean, they would have never thought I could get here, right? I never thought I could get here. I never thought that I could live my best life and be whole, feel whole, and be full of love and just happiness, right? It was not a good, I mean, it brought me here. I don't regret anything in my life, but
you made it to this point. You've achieved more than 99% of the people that ever went through the situations you went through. A lot of them people are depressed still, locked up, or either committed suicide.
Yeah, they just don't know. They just don't know that there's another side. It takes a little bit of work to get to that other side, but the other side is beautiful.
Yeah.
Once you clear stress and trauma from your life and from inside your vessel, you attract things like this. You align with who you're divinely supposed to be, and you attract what you want, what you physically and mentally and spiritually divinely want, what's really meant for you, for your path, because we're all supposed to live our best lives. Literally.
Our mission is to bring heaven to earth. Stop waiting to die so you can live. Stop believing in that myth.
Yeah.
Because the people that told you that, they got you being a slave out here so they can live now. And they're living their best life on the backs of you. When they got you thinking, oh, when you die, it's going to be a much better place. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, your mission is to bring heaven to earth in this dimension. And then when you pass from this dimension to another, do it all over again. And keep ascending with knowledge and wisdom until you get to the highest level.
Right.
This thing is like a video game.
No, it is. And we see it all day, every day, all the time. I mean, we really have to be careful with what we say, what we think, what we even try to even plan, because it happens.
It happens instantly.
It just happens.
It used to be like, you know, now it's like I say something and then I turn my phone on and it's there already.
Done.
I do something and it pops up in whatever it is. It's just happening. The manifestation process. Once you become a master at these techniques, you truly are fully tapped, because, you know, I'm walking in my true God power. I'm not walking wondering if tomorrow's going to be this or that, or if this thing is going to work out. I'm walking around understanding I'm commanding things to actually happen. The other night I was on the show with Richard Merritt, Black Magic. Shout out to Richard Merritt, Black Magic 363 on YouTube. I did a show with him the other night in Dr. B Serious. And Richard talked. He said something that he had never disclosed before on video. Richard had held a conference, in-person conference in 2017, I believe it was, or 2018, one of those years, in Brooklyn, New York. Invited me out there to speak. I get there, St. Francis College. There's people down the street around the corner. I was like, wow, this is incredible. They were all there to hear me speak and a couple other people speak. I go inside. There's so many people. We're over capacity. The air conditioning couldn't handle it. The body heat had put the temperature almost to 100 degrees, and it was sweltering in that theater. I mean, absolutely sweltering. 500 people fitting into a 380 seat theater. The bodies were lined up around the wall and sitting on the stairs that will lead you out of the theater. And the gentleman that went up before me was doing a PowerPoint presentation, and I was going to do a PowerPoint presentation as well right after him. However, his PowerPoint presentation, it literally melted down. The machine steamed, and it just made this noise, and it literally shut down. There was only one PowerPoint machine there to do the presentation, projector. Richard comes in the back. It's time for me to go on stage now. The projector is steaming. He says, Billy, you only got 1 minute to go on, and I got bad news. He said the projector is broken. It's literally steaming, and it's shut down. It's just too hot in there. There's no way it's going to come back on. It's so hot you can't even touch it. I looked him right in the eye, and I said, I command it. It's going to work. He said, huh? I said, Richard, I put my hand on his shoulder, said, it'll be fine. He said, oh, okay. I walked out there. I walked up to the stage. I greeted everyone. He introduced me. Then I greeted everyone. I went to I walked right over as if it was going to work. I plugged in my laptop and pressed a button, and it turned right on. I did a whole 2-hour presentation and never turned off one time. Boom, done. And it got hotter in the room. It's the power of the mind.
Yeah. It's all about the power of the mind. That's some powerful stuff right there.
Yeah. It's the power of the mind. Yeah. Understanding. No. So it's a lot. There's so much, and we can be on here for 10 hours talking, but come to the Manifest Destiny workshop. I dropped the link in the caption of this, in the comment feed. It'll be in the caption of this video and podcast. Register ASAP. Limited seating available for the virtual workshop because I want to answer questions at the end. Make sure you're on there. It's going to be an amazing 7 hours that you're never going to forget. It's going to set your 2023 off in the right direction. Yeah,
for real. I mean, I've literally been dreaming and manifesting this life that I live every single day. I've been manifesting this for 10 years, literally down to the U. I mean, everything about my life I've manifested, and it's because of the work that I've done. It's just really, really amazing.
It's amazing.
Now that I really think about it, it's like this is the first time I've really thought about it. Like I used to sit and do my little rituals and do my little modalities and tell myself, this is where I'm going to be. This is who I'm going to be with. This is what I'm going to be doing. And I'm doing all of it right now.
Doing all of it. All of it. Every morning when you wake up, I hear you do with your affirmations books. I hear you with your inspirational books and quotes that come on because you do Audible. And you turn it on speaker. So I can't get away from it. But it has an effect on me as well, which is positive and great. And that's, since I know you, always doing your meditations. You're always doing your therapies. You're always doing your, whether it's a red light therapy, lymph suit. I mean, you got all this stuff going on. And brain training. I'm like, what is she plugged into now?
It was so funny. He couldn't find me. He couldn't find me in the house this one day. He couldn't find me in this house this one day. He was walking all around like, hello.
Walk around the house. Hey, where are you? I know she's in the house. The car's in the garage. I see this one door with all this glowing light coming around the cracks and edges. I said, oh, shoot. She's in there going in with some kind of contraption.
It was really therapy and brain training and grounding. I do a little thing. It was great. Yeah, I do sage, but I don't sage because you are sensitive to smells and things that give you a headache. So I haven't saged our house, our new place that we just moved to, but I'm going to do it once you go to a thing that you need to go to because it needs to be done. Okay. Yes.
But we're the first ones in here. Nobody ever lived in this house before, so that's good.
Yeah, but there's just been a lot of worker people that have.
Yeah, I had workers coming. A lot of workers. Yeah, she'll take care of that when I'm away.
Absolutely, I will be saging. Yes.
But yeah, so just a lot of great things. But guys, the links are in the caption, the comments feed, and just come. I highly recommend it. it's going to be a life-changing event.
It will be if you apply.
If you apply the knowledge. If you don't, you could take in all the knowledge I'm going to give you, and she's going to give you. But if you don't apply any of it, it's totally worthless. Yeah. It just takes some space in your brain. You know, but that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of people get scared of the shadow work that I talk about because they're afraid. They don't want to revisit trauma. They don't want to talk about the things that they've been through. I mean, some people have been through some really horrible stuff. I don't like to talk about it. And sometimes the memories and it gets very difficult.
Yeah.
But once you're able to feel those things, they leave. They leave from your energy. They leave from your physical body. They leave from the space in your mind.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the other side is so much greener.
So much greener. You have to address them. You can't hide. You can't ignore the elephant in the room.
Don't stuff.
Yeah.
Stuffing is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
It creates dis-ease, which creates disease in the body.
Right. Exactly.
Bad. So the Manifest Destiny workshop is $99. The workshop that you're doing with Dr. B is $149, I think.
It's $150, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
One of Dr. B said the God Power God Power workshop is two. It's both of us teaching 4 hours a piece. It's an 8-hour class. And the Manifest Destiny is $99. It's a 7-hour class. It's going to be amazing. I'll be doing about 5 of those 7 hours. There'll be a short break, and then Elisabeth will do her part as well. So it's going to be an amazing day. And again, the other benefit is if you can't sit there that long and watch, 16 hours of teaching between the two classes, you'll be able to rewatch it over and over again. You'll have the link to watch it as many times as you want for life, unlimited amounts of times. You can pause it, go back, replay it, wait till family members come over, play it back again. So you have lifetime access to the information, which is also great. Because when I used to do live in-person conferences, they don't allow cell phones. You can take some clips here and there, but you can't record the whole thing.
The whole thing, right? That'd take up all the space.
So people are taking notes like crazy, but while they're taking notes, I'm saying something else.
Right.
And they miss it. So with the magic of video streaming, you can watch it over and over and pause it and rewind it and start back and forth. And you can move it to any device you want. You can watch it on your cell phone, your tablet, your TV, anywhere, a hotel room. Doesn't matter where you're at. You can stream it. You can Google, you can Chromecast it. You can put it on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. You can watch it in so many, and the web. Samsung.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
We're on all Samsung TVs all over the world
huge,
right
huge.
now.
Big deal. It's
huge.
a big deal.
Yeah.
So here's the link for that one more time, guys.
Yeah, we just dropped the link.
Yes.
And it's already 1:22. We've been on.
That's okay. Oh man, I was gonna show this comment. That's awesome. I love when people tell me.
Where you go?
Boop.
There you go.
I talk about grounding and mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, not psychedelic.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're enjoying your grounding and mushrooms, Sarita. I hope I'm saying that right. I mean they'll change your life. Grounding by far is one of the modalities that really changed everything about my life.
And those are non-psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, non-psychedelic.
Yeah. Non-psychedelic, not psychedelic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But grounding. So my book with Olivia Smith is coming out within the next couple weeks, and it's all about grounding, all about earthing, different stories of women specifically that have been through really horrid health issues and autoimmune diseases and have grounding has profoundly changed their lives.
Yeah.
So we talk all about it, and it's pretty amazing. So that book is going to be out really, really soon. It is called The Mother Earth Effect, and it's available for pre-order right now if you guys want to check it out and get it for a 17% discount, because it's available for pre-order. But it's going to be amazing. And let's see. So let's talk about 3 more things and then we'll jump off because it's important. So we're doing 2 tours tomorrow. We're actually doing 3, but we're announcing 2. We're doing another trip to Egypt, another tour in Egypt, but we've extended it 3 more days. So it's a 10-day tour to Egypt, and it's going to be amazing. We still have some space for that. So you guys make sure that you check it out. I'm going to drop the link.
We'll get the link for you. It was an amazing, life-changing trip for everyone that went. We had 70 people with us.
Yes.
We had the best security.
Yes.
We had 8 armed military officers, 4 in the front of the 2 bus convoy and 4 in the back. We had an armed guard on each one of our tour buses along the way as well. So we had excellent security. We had private access to areas of Egypt that it's almost impossible to get.
Well, listen, we had it was probably about 50 of the people, right? 50 of the people in the king's chamber sitting down meditating.
Doing a meditation.
And doing the
an om meditation.
Did you hear the man?
What a resonance.
It put me into boom, I was there.
Yeah.
I was like, holy, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that was an amazing experience. Amazing. So we're gonna be doing that again too.
Doing it again.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can see if this clip works real quick. This little we had a little clip that we took. We had some editors put together of our trip to Egypt. And let's see if it plays for you guys here. Anyway, the music was a little jumpy there. Maybe it was because of the streaming, but you get there was a couple of clips from the tour we took with our 70 person group to Egypt. It was an amazing trip. It was phenomenal. And all the trips that we take, by the way, before you explain the other one, is there's no Jabberwowski required. We don't play those kind of games.
Oh yeah, right.
So there's no Jabberwowskis. Yeah. Okay. And what's beautiful, if you're coming back to the U.S., there's no test required to get back in either. They don't even care anymore. So it's all green light now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's all gravy. So I see a couple of people talking about grounding. I'm so glad that grounding is working for you. If you try it, it will change your life. If you try it, it will. It changed your life.
Thank you, DJ Quicko.
Yes, thank
you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? What up, though, King Simon?
King Simon in the house.
Yes. What's good?
Looking forward to having King Simon over for New Year's.
Yes, it's gonna be so fun.
Coming to our New Year's gathering.
Yes. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Looking forward to
awesome.
it.
Okay. The other tour now. We are going to Cambodia in November.
Oof.
In November of next year.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a 6-day tour. And it's going to be really, really amazing. I've never been there. I told you, I was like, we need to go to Cambodia. I want to go really bad. It's going to be awesome. Let's go. Right. And the Egypt tour was so successful that we were like, why don't we just bring people with us too? Because it made it so much more, I don't know, just the energy.
It was quadruple the energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it made my experience in Egypt so much better. I mean, I had a really good time when we went, but I mean, with the group, it was even more, it felt like. So we're going to bring a group to Cambodia. We have a couple spots left for that one. That one's filling up really, really fast. So, if you guys want to go on that tour, we don't have a link for it yet, but you can email business@forbiddenknowledge.com. That's business@forbiddenknowledge.com with the number 4.
Type it in there.
Okay.
She's going to type it into the comment feed for you. And we'll also put a link in the caption of this video as soon as it's ready.
Yeah.
The webmaster's working on it now, but you can email us if you're interested in going to Cambodia. There's a few slots left. I'm going to show you a picture here of Angkor Wat. I'm just going to pull this out and do it as a separate window. And then I'm going to go back here and share the screen and let you guys see one of the big key attractions is Angkor Wat. And so Angkor Wat's an amazing place. It is, it's really ancient. It's more ancient than what they say it is. It's an extremely spiritual place. It's built from megalithic stones. It's multi-layered. In other words, it has multiple floors. There's even like a pool on the second or third floor, a huge, gigantic stone pool that probably weighs about 300 or 400 tons.
Wow.
There's monks in there. I got blessed by a monk. Actually, the image for Forbidden Knowledge TV, the home screen, I took it sitting inside of Angkor Wat with a monk. You see that monk blessing me, putting the water on me? That picture for Forbidden Knowledge TV, I took inside of here.
Wow.
And the people that live there say that this structure was built in one day and a night. It's the largest temple complex in the world, over 100 hectares.
Wow.
And there's dozens of surrounding temples that we have to hike to and drive to. I think I did 37 miles total hiking and through the jungles to get to all these ancient temples. And you're going to see the most amazing hieroglyphs, glyphs of people with dinosaurs with meat on their bones, which means the people back then in ancient times knew what a dinosaur looked like because they saw it and they etched it into the sides of some of these temples. Technology, it's just going to be mind-blowing. So a very spiritual place. It's a great journey. And they may call this Billy Boot Camp too. But everyone's going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing trip. So Cambodia, you got to email business@forbiddenknowledge.com with the number 4, and we'll get you more information on the Cambodia trip.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to go to that one. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And no, Billy's not scared of shrooms. Billy just doesn't want to mess his phenomenally working brain up. Yeah. It already works well. If you don't need something, then why even reach for it?
You don't need. I don't need it. I don't. These shrooms and frog medicines and ayahuasca.
I got nothing against it.
It's helped a lot of people.
It's helped a lot.
I actually know quite a few people.
Actually, I did a journey on shrooms before, and it was very profound. It helped me a lot. But people get addicted. They say it's not addictive, but it is addictive. And then people fall off and they fall in the deep end, and then they're out fighting demons all day. It's like,
I know. We know some people personally that have gone off the deep end on all these psychedelics, and now they are a psychedelic. And so we still got to function in the third dimension, guys.
Let's focus on this dimension.
So
while we're here.
The problem is you go so deep. Anything that you do too much of is considered abuse, and you have to have balance in everything. Now, for me in particular,
time for integration. You have to be able to integrate it.
Yeah, you got to. How are you even going to take the time to meditate on the experience?
Exactly, integration. That's why if you do something, sorry to cut you off,
no,
but if
fine.
You do something, then you need to wait at least a year. Because you need to integrate that into your life, your experience, really, really chew on it. What happened? What message did it bring to you? Because if you dive right into something else, it's like you're still running away from whatever it is you're trying to run away from, just like regular drugs.
Just like regular drugs.
So don't abuse. It's such a beautiful, they're beautiful medicines that were given to us by, I don't know, the source, whatever we came from. Blessings, sacraments. And when people are like, I'm taking a bunch of mushrooms going to this party, it's like you're disrespecting the sacrament.
Yeah, for real.
Like I don't get down with that. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. No, I'm glad you stopped me on that, because it's what you described is so accurate. For me, I don't need ayahuasca. My pineal gland releases enough DMT naturally. I've been seeing geometric shapes through my meditation since I was a child. I've been able to bilocate since I was a child. I've been able to do all those things since I was a kid. So, even remote viewing came naturally to me. And the way that my memory system works and my ability to recall information, it's working so perfectly. And the way that I'm set up is working so perfectly. One thing you must know is that when you take these psychedelics, they will alter the way your mind fires, the way your neurons fire in your brain. It alters that. And the way my memory system works, my filing system in my brain, if that gets twisted one tiny bit, it could affect my ability to recall information. And I don't want to lose that.
No, you're good at that.
I don't want to lose my ability to recall information.
Yeah, no.
That's what I do. That's what I live on.
Yeah.
So because of that, I made a conscious decision that's just not for me at this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in the future, but right now it's not for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if it works, why try to fix it?
Yeah.
If it works, why fix it? See, I needed fixing. No, I don't like that term. I don't like the fixing, because nobody needs to be fixed. You're perfect the way you are at the moment in your journey where you're at, right? So you don't need to be fixed. But I was trying to discover something about myself. And that discovery, it changed me. But I went into the ritual or whatever I did, I went into it intentionally with an issue, with a thought process, with an intention of what I wanted to get from that experience.
Okay.
And I got exactly what I needed.
Right.
And it helped me. But I only did that one time. I don't need to do it no more. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I feel amazing. I'm in my best life every day.
Like I said, I know people that are abusing that right now today are abusing psychedelics, and they're off the deep end. And I mean, they're gone.
They literally are fighting demons and casting spells and giving potions and doing all type of stuff.
They can't make they can't even speak a sentence that makes any sense. An intelligible sentence it's
just off the deep end. And it's not to say that I don't believe in that type of stuff. I do, but let's focus on this dimension. We don't need to be wanding energetic beings that
passing out potions and all kinds of stuff.
Come on, man. We have mass killings of freaking kids on this planet. Like, let's focus on the task at hand, right? Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Goodness.
But yeah, so interesting stuff. It's all, like I said, it definitely has its purpose and uses out there.
Absolutely.
But it's up to the individual person to make a decision whether they feel that that's something that they need in their life. And for me, I made a conscious decision. I realized, for me, once I learned that it will alter the way that your brain fires, I realized that one tiny neuron off can set a cascade effect like dominoes
falling. Butterfly effect. Exactly.
And then I can lose my ability that I have, and I don't want to lose my ability.
No, and you're not 66, okay? Yeah. He's not 66.
No, I'm not. I'm 51.
He's not 66.
Yeah, I'm 50. Google has it wrong. I'm 51 years old. I don't know why Google has that, but if you go to my Wikipedia page, it'll tell you that I'm 51 years old, 5'1", which is still a good age. I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good for 51.
Yeah, no, still. You are. You're doing great for 51, but you're not 66 though.
I'm not 60. I'm 51. But hey, I'm just trying to stay in shape, keep myself fit.
We got it going on over here. We got it going on.
Working out, meditation.
It's about to be like that, okay?
Drinking my colloidal silver, doing my monoatomic gold, taking all my supplements every day that enhance my telomeres and my cells and everything else.
Grounding every day, every night. Yep.
Just doing everything that it takes. Working on myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Working on myself daily, every single day.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate. So far, I really don't have a lot of wrinkles. I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any. I kept all my hair. I don't have any bald spots.
No, you got thick hair too, and your hair grows fast.
My hair grows fast. Yeah. I have to get 2 haircuts a week. That's how fast my hair grows.
Yeah, for real.
So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and it's working out. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I like it.
If you like it, I love it. I got all my teeth.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Good. So. It's important. That's very important. Okay. You can't have you out here. Stop it.
I got all my teeth. I got my hair. I got my strength. I got my stamina. The stamina ain't going nowhere.
They're not going nowhere.
No, well, that ain't going to happen. No. That ain't going to happen. I'm doing good.
we biohacking our sex life.
You know what, guys? I'm starting to sweat. We got to go. I got to go work on something.
Work on something. Yes. Anywho,
anyway.
Hot. There was one more thing I was supposed to talk about. I forgot now.
One more thing to talk about.
I need that work done. Actually, get this modality.
Yeah, let me drink some of your water.
Anyways, I remember. This is structured water. We're gonna do a whole episode on water too, brother.
Yeah, these are crystals.
Yeah.
Crystals, structured water. Crystals are living entities, living beings. I did a whole video on Forbidden Knowledge TV. It's a 1-hour show about sentient living crystals. You have to check it out on Forbidden Knowledge TV.
It's good.
Yeah, these are going to be available on forbiddenknowledge.com very soon. structured water bottles with crystals embedded into the water bottles, so you can structure your water. How long do you have to let the water sit in there before it structures
7 to
itself?
10 minutes.
7 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
The vibrations and the oscillations from the crystals restructure the molecular structure of the water, and then you drink that.
Yeah, and then your cellular hydration will go up. Your functionality of your body will go up. I mean, we're 70 to 80% water. So when you're putting structured water in, it's way better. Way better than just regular water. Yeah. But the last thing, because we need to get off soon, because we need to go get that work done.
Yeah. We gotta go do some work.
So next year. So next year you're doing a Billy Club.
Oh, my Billy Club. Last thing I got to talk about. Thank you.
That's the last thing.
Last thing before we go, guys. The Billy Club. Yeah. Okay, let me get serious again.
Okay. Serious.
I'm back.
Well, I went to go get some dresses tailored, right? And we show up, and he's like, "How many of these things you gotta edit?" I'm like, "What? What type of computer? Robot?"
You editing the dresses at the tailor?
Like, edit.
That's not the right terminology. You're editing the dresses.
Talk about edit.
Anyway, the tailor, they edit clothes, just like you edit a video.
It's robotic. That was very robotic.
Anyway, listen, the Billy Club.
Yes.
As you guys know, guys and gals, I've been extremely financially abundant for a very, very long time. Long before social media, I had built a multi-million-dollar corporation, which I sold for millions of dollars. I was in my very, very first companies that I built and then exited from. I had done that many times over and over again since that time. Right now, currently, Forbidden Knowledge is on track to become a $1 billion corporation. $1 billion corporation. It's going to be one of the largest conscious streaming networks, but also one of the largest streaming networks overall on any streaming platform. And it's doing very, very well right now with over 6,000 shows already and thousands of subscribers. And so what I'm telling you is I know how to build businesses. I've been very, very successful in building lots of businesses. On your mind. Like, no. Yeah, I've been building 6 businesses. Anyway, but seriously, a lot of people have asked to be my mentor. I had in-person mentors in the past where I would do a few people a year, like 3 or 4 people for a year. They would actually come and stay with me. A lot of them, they just couldn't. It was too vigorous. The last person that came, after a couple of days, he said, "I got to go home." This guy was a CEO of a major corporation, and he couldn't handle it. I decided to devise a way to do the mentoring program in a way where they didn't physically have to be with me, but I can actually impart my wisdom on somebody, my techniques on people, analyze their businesses, analyze their finances, have some of my billionaire friends help analyze some of their business models and ideas and theories as well. Keep you on the right track, have personal one-on-one calls, have some group calls, and have the team that we have built together networking with each other to become on the track to becoming billionaires. We're building together this like solidarity, and then also having a once a year in-person, all expense paid retreat hosted by me for 2 days in an undisclosed location. So we put that together. Yeah. It's called the Billy Club, a play on billionaire, right? BILLI-club.com. And I'll drop the link here. It's application only. It's application only. I'm only taking 40 people because that's all I can handle. I can only handle 40 people. And so I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. It's BILLI-club.com, billy-club.com. And it's application only. The application process is extensive. Once you apply, your information will be looked at, reviewed, and actually verified. You may get a call for an interview, once or even twice in some cases, depending on what's going on. And if we feel that you're acceptable to join the Billy Club, then we'll allow you to be a part of the club. And we're only taking 40 people. That's it. 40 people max. We worked out the hours and the numbers. Yes. And the days. Down to the days that we're going to be doing Zoom calls, private calls, business calls. I mean, if you think about it, 40 people at about hour, something a day for you, that's a lot of hours, guys. So we really figured this out. We honed in and really, really got it together. Yeah. So it's going to be amazing. I'll also be providing protocols for people specifically if they so want
want that, which I'm sure I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, I'll just look over what your habits are, what you're doing every day for your mental health, and, you know, maybe assist you in some sort of way with different modalities or different things that you could do to enhance your mental health, which will enhance your physical outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So check it out, billy-club.com. It's for anyone, anywhere in the world. You can be anywhere in the world. It's all I don't care if you're in China. It doesn't matter to me. You can be in Australia. It doesn't matter to me. Wherever you are in the world, you can join the Billy Club. But I'm only taking 40. I'm only taking 40. The retreat that I'm going to do every year is going to be super dynamic, interactive. It's going to be an in-person retreat at an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
The only thing you'll have to pay for is your airfare to get there, but the actual retreat will be covered. Your room, your food, and all expenses will all be covered if you're part of the special mentoring Billy Club that we're building. All right. And then the mentorship that you'll be able to, the partnership and the networking you'll be able to build with the other mentees is going to be absolutely priceless.
Exactly. Priceless. Yeah. So let me just for instance, you guys, so we have a close friend of ours that is in Tony Robbins' mastermind class. That class costs $150,000 per year, $150,000 per year. But our friends became a multi-millionaire from joining that mastermind class because of the networking within it, because of the direct contacts with Tony Robbins and him working. It's extensive. Yeah. It's extensive. And he said that was the best decision of his whole life.
Yeah.
Whole life. So there is there's an annual fee for the Billy Club. We have to know that you're real serious. So it's $25,000. It's not $150,000, but it's 25, just because we have to know that you're serious, dedicated, plus time, energy, the retreat, everything. Yeah. So, the
time, the energy that I have to put out. And I usually average about 25,000 an hour when I'm working. And so for me to take time away from what I have to do that, it's going to take a lot of away from a lot of my own finances. So I have to compensate in some way. But also when you make a commitment like that, you're going to be absolutely and totally involved and encapsulated in what I'm bringing to you, and you're going to follow through, and in a way that you wouldn't do if you didn't pay anything. You wouldn't follow through. People don't follow through. When I tell people, give people, how many people I told to write a book? It's only maybe 3 people out of probably 400 or 500 that actually wrote the book. You, my son, and Cruz, Kenny Garcia. That's only 3 people that ever did it. Out of hundreds.
Wow.
Out of hundreds. And so, but they didn't pay me for the knowledge. Now, when I say told them to write, I didn't just say, hey, write a book. I told them the secret of how to write the book. I gave them the breakdown of how to do it and actually make it happen. And so I gave them my time and my knowledge. It takes a little bit over an hour to do. They didn't listen. And so you have to realize over time, you realize that people who don't pay anything for the training and the knowledge, they don't respect it and they take it for granted. When you invest into yourself, you're going to be at attention, ready to go, ready to learn, ready to execute, ready to do whatever it takes.
Yes.
And we want to make sure we have the right people. That's why we don't accept just any old body into that 40.
Yeah, no, it's hundreds of people, hundreds of applicants.
Hundreds.
I've gone through a lot.
Oh my God, it's a lot.
A lot.
It's hand-picked people. It's literally hand-picked.
Yeah.
Because we don't need the money. It's hand-picked.
Yeah.
And it's only going to be 40.
Money is just an energy exchange anyways.
Exactly.
And how we have it laid out next year, there's going to be a ton of hours put into the Billy Club. So it's the exchange is fair.
Right. And also all Billy Club members get a Forbidden Knowledge Black Card.
Yeah. That's another bonus.
So the Black Card right now is only available to people for the Forbidden Club who have bought and minted 10 NFTs from my Forbidden Club. But the extra benefit you get for those 40, they'll be added to the Black Card Forbidden Club.
Yes.
Which means that you get into my events for free. You know, if you want to come to the Conscious Awards, the Forbidden Conscious Awards in Miami next year.
Yes.
Right? July 30th, 2023.
We just signed our host today.
We just signed a host. Oh my God.
I know.
We got a big name. Oh, wait till this press release come out.
Yeah.
And so if you want to come to that, though, it's a black tie affair. You can come to the door. When you get to the door, you show your black card. You come in for free. Things like that. Special hidden events, secret events, like we did our UFO hunt.
That was amazing.
A few months ago, right? We had 4 or 5 black card holders out there in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
watching and seeing, looking at their faces when they've seen UFOs.
UFOs, a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of
It's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have an amazing time.
Just crazy stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and secret mystery school teachings that I'll be doing only with the black card holders. So there's a lot of great exclusive things.
Yeah.
Only for black card holders. So you'll get a black card from, and it's a real card.
It's a real physical.
It's a real physical card with your name on it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Okay, one last thing before we get off.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be on King Simon's channel on Sunday. I don't know if you guys could see that, kind of.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So we'll be with King Simon on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. He'll be interviewing us. The title is Divine Health, Wealth, and the Metaphysics of Union with Billy Carson and Elisabeth Hoekstra.
All right.
I'm excited to have that conversation. King Simon is a good friend of ours, and it's going to be an amazing show. You'll get some nuggets from that for sure.
Yeah, we'll be dropping the link. It's going to be on YouTube. So it's going to be on his YouTube account and the King Simon YouTube account.
Yes.
Just YouTube King Simon. He's going to pop right up. Okay, this man is phenomenal with numbers. He remembers every number, everybody's birthday. He remembers all these.
I know.
Dates.
The first thing he'll say to you is like, "Okay, and this is what's gonna happen on this day because your birthday is on the same." I'm like, "How do you remember this?"
This guy's a wizard with numbers.
Yeah.
He's a human walking computer.
Yes.
So anyway, guys, we gotta run, take care of some business. But thank you for watching tonight. We love you guys. All the links for everything we talked about. Elizabeth's going to take a few minutes right now and put it all in the caption of this video in case you missed it. So if you're on the podcast or wherever, you will be able to access all these links.
We're going to put it in the description. Okay,
in the description, okay? All right, guys. Peace and love. Let me do my third eye. Love. Peace. There's a third eye. Love. And then this is P. This is the real peace symbol. The two fingers together. Not like this, like this. All right? Third eye love.
I don't know why I think it's so funny.